So we're going to move into the next part of the show, and this is Margo, and this is Friday, May 31st, 2019, 6:12 p.m. Pacific Time, United States of America. Going to look at the flooding around the United States and earthquakes. And just for because it's easier just to read from one blog site, I've loaded up Seymour Rock's blog post from today about flood warnings for Oroville and Oklahoma and different things. So first of all, last night the Department of Water Resources website was down, and it was down for several hours for maintenance, and they do this I think every week or 2 weeks. I've seen it before, and that's why I didn't really get that much up in arms. A lot of people were reporting on it and saying, oh, website's down, and and we've got rain and this and that, and it's gonna go over and all this stuff. But I guarantee you their website is up today and running, and at, let's see if I can get the 6 o'clock reading. The 6 o'clock reading for Pacific time is 895.15 feet, and it's been holding at 895.15 since 2 o'clock this afternoon. And yesterday it went up 0.24 feet, so about 1/4 of a foot, and today it's gone up 0.08 feet. So I guess they're just thinking they're gonna manage everything without having to use the main spillway. But this report is not about all that. I'm just showing you the lake levels, and that so when people get that, like this forbidden notice, it means that they're working on the website. So there were YouTube channels reporting and saying, oh, there's a problem and this and that, and I'd seen it before. That's why I didn't get that upset. I mean, you always wonder when the website goes down. But they could have put up a thing saying, oh, it's under maintenance right this second. But instead you get a forbidden message. Anyway, also, this is KTWX. Where's that? I don't know where KTWX is. Oh, Northeast Kansas. This was a flash flood warning last night. They were saying that a dam could fail. Okay, I'll just read it. This was last night. A flash flood warning for a dam failure remains in effect until 10:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time for East Central Nemaha, northeastern Jackson, and southwestern Brown counties. At 5:10 p.m. CDT, local officials reported the dam 1 mile south of Sabetha could fail in the next couple of hours, causing flash flooding downstream on the Delaware River. Locations impacted include U.S. Highway 36, 2.3 miles south of the dam and the Kickapoo Reservation. No flooding is occurring yet, but if or when it does, flash flooding will occur with the water flowing south away from Sabetha down the Delaware River. And then the next article, I know it's kind of hard to read, but it's Oklahoma residents are warned to prepare for the worst case scenario as the Midwest braces for flooding, and forecasters predict the Mississippi and Arkansas rivers will rise to record-breaking levels. So this is from the Daily Mail. So let's see if we can read that a little better. The flooded Arkansas River is expected to crest at a record high of 42.5 feet in Van Buren on Wednesday. Arkansas River topped 2 levees Tuesday and has flooded hundreds of homes in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Okay, this is old news. Mississippi River is projected to crest at 44 feet in St. Louis this week, the second highest level in history. Heavy downpours are forecast through Wednesday night in both states, with 1 to 3 inches expected. By June, rivers are expected to crest to highest levels on record all the way down to Little Rock, Arkansas. Tulsa Mayor G.T. Bynum warned residents to be ready to evacuate in an event of a worst-case scenario. President Donald Trump tweeted his support to Arkansas's governor in light of the record floods on Tuesday. 5 to 7 inches of rain is forecast to fall in Arkansas, Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri on Wednesday. So here's pictures. So communities along the Arkansas River in Oklahoma and Arkansas preparing for further flooding and urging thousands of residents behind the city's aging levees to be ready to evacuate in the event of a worst-case scenario. It's a flood of historic magnitude. Flooding has already closed 12 state highways. 400 households have agreed to voluntary evacuations. Look at this. This looks like it's coming up to the top of a barn. In Oklahoma, Muskogee County Emergency Management, they say thunderstorms in the nearby river has forced the evacuations of more than 2,400 people. 1,100 homes have been flooded. 2 inches of rain has fallen on the area since Tuesday night, and forecasters say the same amount is possible on Wednesday, and so on and so forth. Now here's the map of the flood and high flow conditions. So this is important because when we look at the earthquake map, we're going to see earthquakes down here. A lot of them all the way through Oklahoma where there's been flooding as well. And where there's been a lot of fracking, it creates weak parts in the crust and in the plate. And so wherever it's weakest, when you get that heavy weight of the water, you're going to be prone to having earthquakes. So I will leave the link below for this blog post from Robin Westenra. Thank you, Robin, for that for bringing those articles to us all in one place. It makes it a lot easier. Now let's move on over to our earthquake report. So I have USGS pulled up here for the last 24 hours for all magnitude, and we're showing 304 earthquakes worldwide. So that's an uptick in the number, and of those, 34 are 2.5 magnitude or higher. So we can see them all around this ring of fire. We're seeing some larger dots today. We've got a new one over here in the Atlantic Ocean, and we're seeing more of these higher ones going across the United States here. So let's see what's about to come off the map here. 4.1 in the Virgin Islands. This came in at 6:27 last night. Well, let's just start down there. So I have all magnitudes pulled up here. We're seeing 11 earthquakes. The largest one is this. It actually says 4.3 down here. It said 4.1 there. Oh, well, that might not be the biggest. Okay, the 4.3 is the biggest. Alright, 4.1 is about to come off the map. So the biggest one was this 4.3 that came in near Martinique at 9:24 p.m. last night. It was in the ocean, so that, you know, with it being in the ocean, that's pretty small, so, and it won't do damage. Here's the 4.1 in the ocean, and so I'll just call these off. 4.1, let's make sure we get them all on here. Get this guy on here. 4.1, 1.5, 3.1, 2.3, 4.3, 3.5, 2.6, 3.4, 3.4, 1.6, and 3.4. So we're seeing them up into the threes now, so they're getting higher in magnitude. While we're here, let's look at this one on this mid-Atlantic ridge. This happened northern mid-Atlantic ridge. It's a 4.6. It happened at 2:02 this afternoon. All of these times I'm giving you are Pacific time because that's my time zone. Now in South America, there was a 4.9 near Putre, Chile at 12:25 this morning, 118 kilometers deep. Then here in the Pacific Ocean, right on this red line, off the coast of Mexico, here was a 4.6 near Mochiocan, Mexico at 12:36 this morning, and a 5.8 near Tomatlan, Mexico at 4:57 this morning. So that could have been a 6. That was big enough. So that's getting up there. That's higher than we normally see over here. Higher in magnitude. Now let's come on around this ring of fire. Here was a 5.5 near Kokopo, Papua New Guinea. This came in at 10:50 this morning, 24 kilometers deep. You see the little wave. So we're going to look and see if there was a tsunami warning associated with that. No. No tsunami warning with that. Then 4.6 near Finschhafen, Papua New Guinea at 5:08 this afternoon. Here's a 4.9 near Mindi, Papua New Guinea at 12:59 this afternoon on land. That could have been big enough to cause damage if it was near old structures or things that aren't earthquake hardened. Here's a 4.9 near Baobab, Indonesia at 6:55 this morning. Here's a 5.4 near Labu, Hankananga, Indonesia at 11:37 last night. 569 kilometers deep. That's very deep. And the deeper they are, the more they'll cause movement around the plate, around the world, cause the tectonic plates to move. Here was a 6.1 near Pandaguitan, Philippines at 3:12 this morning. 90 kilometers deep. We can see that was in the ocean. So with it being in the ocean, the water buffers it, so it probably didn't do any damage. Here was a 4.4 near Sinabang, Indonesia. Now Sinabang is up here, and so this is off the coast to the west. And this happened at 7:06 this morning. Then we had one on land at Taiwan, a 4.6 near Pingtung at 8:53 this morning. Coming on around, here we had one just off the coast of Ohara, Japan. It was a 4.9 at 3:58 this afternoon. That could have been a 5. They're pretty earthquake hardened though, so here's a 4.4 near Nemuro, Japan at 10:27 last night, just off the coast of this northern island, Hokkaido. Now, let's see if there are any on land over here. We saw that. I think that's all the international quakes. Now let's move on into Hawaii. We have all magnitudes pulled up. We're only seeing 4 here today. Here's this 2.6 in the ocean. The reporting station is Kalaoa. That came in at 3:08 this afternoon. Here's a 1.3, 1.7, and 1.7, all near Kilauea. Here's the crater of Kilauea. So there's those. We did the Caribbean. Now let's move on up to Alaska. We're seeing 52 here today, all magnitudes. So the number has gone down. Now, Alaska typically has between 50 and 100 a day because it's geologically active. Here we've got 3.2 at Circle and 3.5 at Kobuk. Those were the highest ones. Now look, we've got one in the Bering Strait here, a 2.3 near Point Hope. This came in at 2:21 this morning at 0 depth, right at the surface. Here's another 2.0 near Shishmaref at 3:04 this afternoon. Kobuk has 14 here today, and these are ones. Usually, most of them are in the ones range, except for that 3.5 that they had. So we just see they're coming down this middle part of the state. So here's Anchorage. Anchorage is here. This is the whole Anchorage area. We're seeing fewer here today. We're not seeing any right around Redoubt Volcano, at least. Cook Inlet, very few. It looks like that's just very calm today. We've got a couple in the little armpit here. Here's a 2.2 Cape Yakataga and a 2.1 Middleton Island. So now let's move on down to the lower 48. Going to start up here in New York State. This is up near the Canada border. A 2.6 near Malone, New York at 2:19 this afternoon. We do see earthquakes along there. That's the edge of the North American craton that goes up there. Then over here in the New Madrid hazard zone, a 2.2 near Lilburn, Missouri. This happened at 7:23 last night. Now look at all of these in Kansas and Oklahoma, and this is where they were having flooding. So I'm thinking these extra earthquakes are because of the flooding. The largest one is this 3.6 near Plainville, Kansas, that came in at 4:44 this afternoon. And then I'll just call them off. So we've got 6 down here. Minus that one and that one at 6. So we've got 2.2 Cherokee, 2.2 Harper, Kansas, 2.3 Cherokee, Oklahoma, 2.1 Helena, Oklahoma, 1.9 Kingfisher, Oklahoma, 1.9 Perry, Oklahoma. So they're lined up there. Now coming on over to Utah, we've got 4 here today. They must be stacked up. 1.4 Richfield and a 2.6 Richfield and a 1.9 Monroe and a 2.4 Monroe. So they're coming in pairs over there. Now in the Yellowstone area, we're seeing 11 here today. So this is a cluster here at Manhattan. We've got 5 here. 2.3 is the highest, and the rest are 1s in the 1s range. Then down here is a 0.6 at West Yellowstone, 2.0 Lincoln, 0.9 Lincoln, 0.2 Polson, Montana, minus 0.9 Polson, and a minus 0.6 Polson. Now those are all around this lake, Flathead Lake. So there's those. Now let's see what's going on in the Pacific Northwest. We've got a quarry blast, looks like, or an explosion, 1.5 magnitude explosion near McCleary, Washington at 10:25 this morning. Now we know there's more than what the eye can see up here. I have the tremor map. This is the new map that they've got on their website. They redid it. Let me refresh this. And for all of May 30th, there were 168 tremors. Here's a cluster up here on Vancouver Island. Here's a cluster down here. Where is this? I always forget. Oh, to the west of Eugene, Oregon. And then another cluster to the south, and then down here, clustering near Redding. So they're spreading out again. But this, when you have the tremors, this is what happens before it turns into an earthquake. So this is showing plate movement, especially of this Cascadia subduction zone all along here. So this is why we're watching these tremors. Here's another explosion of 1.5 magnitude near Florence, Oregon. That came in at 10:20 this morning. Now coming into the Reno area in Northern California. Now here's Oroville, here's the Oroville Lake, and here's Lake Almanor. So Reno is not that far from here, from those places. So we're seeing an uptick here today in the Reno area. We've got minus 0.2 near Truckee, minus 0.3 near Truckee, 0.6 Incline Village, minus 0.2 Incline Village. Now these are actually up in the mountains. That's in the hiking area. Here's one in the middle of Lake Tahoe up in the northwest part. There was a 0 magnitude that happened at 12:51 this morning. So that was small, but it was still showing movement. And then here's an earthquake that happened. Where is this? This is in Reno, 0.1, and this came in at 10:44 last night. I know exactly where that is. This is Wells Avenue, and it turns into Audie, and this is right over here. Here's UNR, University of Nevada, Reno. So it was in between there and the university. So I know exactly where that is. Then coming on down, here's 0.7 near Gardnerville, but it's in California. We're seeing a cluster here at Hawthorne. We've got 4 here, mid ones. We've got more down, a few more down here. We've got 9 total in this view. Here's a 1.0 near Gabbs. Now coming into southern Nevada. We've got 8 here today. Alamo is the reporting station for some of them, and Beatty and Pahrump. This 1.0 is the largest, so the rest are under that. Small. So we saw all of those. Now in the Mammoth Lakes area, we've got 6 today. This 1.1 is the largest. Here's a couple over here near Big Pine, small ones. Now moving into the Coso Junction area, including these 2, we've got 13 here today. This 2.2 is the largest. So we are seeing them stacked up here, stacked up here. This is, the reporting station is Little Lake, and this is the Coso Junction cluster, and this is 1.5 Kernville and a 1.1 Kernville. Now let's come on down into Southern California. Oh my gosh, we're seeing 100 here today. That is definitely an uptick. Definitely. Here's a quarry blast, 1.5 magnitude near Holtville. That is a definite uptick. 100 in Southern California. We're going to look at 2.5 magnitude or higher here. This is at Glen Avon. We've got 5 here, 2.5 magnitude or higher. Here's a 2.6, 2.9, 2.5, 2.7, and 2.5. So we've been seeing it swarming here, or kind of clustering right here. That's where it is. Here's Corona. Here's the Prado Dam here. Look, they had a quarry blast at Home Gardens, a 1.5 magnitude at 12:21 this morning. And here's the Glen Avon cluster. There's 61 here, including this one and this one. So something's going on. That looks like it's a neighborhood. I mean, it looks like residential streets where people live, to me. So I would be concerned if I lived there. Look at that. Most of the 2.9, that's getting on up there. I think that's the highest one. The rest are in the ones, and looks like a couple under 1, a few under 1. 61. That's crazy. So, something is up. Here's at Kauai, here's a 2.0. And in this viewing area we're seeing 17. So there's an uptick there now. So we're going to keep an eye on all of this. Now let's come up this San Andreas fault line. Did we get this one? Bodfish 0.8. Here's a 1.5 pinnacles, 1.1 tres pinos, 1.8 alum rock, 1.2 colma. Let's get these up here first. Here's Redwood Valley. Here's a 2.8, that's getting up there, and a 1.3. And then at the geysers, they've got 39 here today. So that's still a good size number. Let's see. That's Redwood Valley there. So these are all, it looks like most of them are in the ones range. Ones and under. Yeah. So let's zoom out and see if anything else came in. Yucca Valley. Bunch of these just happened at Glen Avon. Look, at 6:31, and Kobuk just had one at 6:31, a 1.1. Yeah, Glen Avon is definitely swarming. Here's a whole bunch that started at 6:08 tonight, 6:09, 6:11, 6:30, 6:31. And then here it was at 4:45, and so on. So something's up there. So I do believe we are in the end times, and that we need to get our spiritual houses in order to feel better about leaving the planet, whatever that means to you. So until next time, God bless. Everyone take care. Go in peace. Good night.